Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
He unfortunately does not have the plan to be with us today. It's Costa, it's Marybird Godwin, it's our executive producer, Greg Todorov. Welcome back to the Big Biz Show, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. We certainly appreciate you being along for the ride. Where do we have the word where he is?
I think he's a little under the weather, as they say.
Oh,
I think.
I got the black lung pop. He's not feeling well?
I don't think.
Is it under the weather or under the weather?
You mean
No, I think
enjoying the weather?
Yeah,
Or, that's a great question. I don't know.
All I know is that I walked into the studio today and I was sitting where I normally sit, where Mary sits right now. And Greg goes, Mikey, not today. And I'm all, are we shooting today? He goes, no. You're behind the desk today. I was like,
You're driving the bus, dude.
Oh,
How does it feel?
Doesn't it? It feels like remember in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
yes.
When he's there's the Ferrari. Oh. There's the Ferrari.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't it feel like we've been given the keys to the Ferrari?
Yeah.
Really? And we all know what
We're
happens
gonna have
to
to.
Ferrari at the very end.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to.
Oh,
run
I
the
hope
engine
not.
back.
God help us.
Yeah,
God
I
help
hope not.
us. He has got the Ferrari of hair as far as the Big Biz Show is
Oh,
concerned.
it's nice.
And that's our Big Biz Show market analyst, Howie Font, and he joins us as he does every show. Howard, how are you, my friend? How was your weekend?
Great. I'm happy to crash in on the Nunya show.
Oh, well, speaking of crash.
Speaking of crash.
Speaking of
yes,
crash
so-
there, Howie.
Yeah.
I have to be careful with this Ferrari, you know?
Dude, I will eternally be jealous of that flow you got. What do we have? What's going on today with Freddie Mac?
Well, listen, I wanted to talk about housing affordability because Freddie Mac put out a report that said that 78% of baby boomers don't even plan on leaving their home to downsize or upgrade or change in retirement at all. And that's important because usually the generations have gotten bigger, but usually some people, larger families downsize, other people move in, and you kind of have this rotation in the market.
Sure.
And if that's not going to happen, then we're going to have to build like 1.5 million new homes, and that's a big problem, especially with inflation. So when we're talking, I'm from New York, you guys are in San Diego, bastions of affordable housing. I just don't think that we're ever going to have another generation of wealth accumulation by real estate. You're going to rent and like it.
Okay. So my wife and I, we have a 252-month-old who's living with us right now. And we're hoping one day he'll, strike out on his own and hopefully buy a house, whatever the case may be. But I'm hearing more and more that parents, their kids into their mid-20s, even late 20s, are living with them just so they can sock up enough money to hopefully get enough to make a down payment on a house.
Well, I would even question the merits of owning. It seems like a good idea, and it seems like something that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But why would you take on the burden of property tax, repairs, insurance, when you have the option to just rent? The only risk is they're going to raise the rent on you, and so you don't have that stability. But financially, I don't know that it's the leveraged bet that it has been in the past, and to the upside for most people. And we also see that people are moving more and more than they used to. So I just don't think it's going to stay the same. And owning a home is unfortunately just not going to be the way you build wealth.
Now, is this case in California, in all 50 states?
Well, California has an extreme version of the problem, but it's all over the country, and part of that is because we need new inventory, and with inflation,
Right.
Lumber, concrete, all that, it's getting hard to even buy to build. So,
Howie, always appreciate it,
hard
my
place.
friend. You look marvelous as usual. We'll talk to you next time. That's our market analyst, Howie Font, here on the Big Biz Show. More after this.
Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Big Biz rolling on wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening from. We always appreciate you being along with us. Costa standing behind the bar, keeping it warm for our man Sully, as was reported earlier from many stations around the world.
Yeah.
He's under the weather. Mary Berg Godwin, our executive producer, Greg Todorov, with us. James, Trace looks so different with that hat on. A little different. Do we have a new member of the DTT today?
Yes, we do.
Who's the guy in the hat that I've never seen before?
Brian Cantrell. But you can call me Nucci.
Nucci.
Everybody calls me
calls
Nucci.
him Nucci. On the left-hand side.
All right, Nucci.
Nucci.
Hey.
There we go. Nucci, thanks for sitting in today.
Thanks for having me.
Good. James, you moved, and I finally saw that's not Trace in a hat. It's somebody. It's somebody else. All right, Howie Font's back with us. He's our market analyst right here on the Big Biz Show. Howie, how old are you? I know you said it before, but what age bracket are we talking?
Can I give a range, or do you want
You know what? You range it, because I'm at the point now in my life where I lie. How old?
No, I'm the big 3-0.
Okay, you're 30.
Oh,
Nice.
nothing to lie about there.
Do you remember, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, San Elmo's Fire,
Pretty in
those Pretty in Pink, those.
I mean, he wasn't born when they came out, but
No.
I feel
Have
like,
you seen them?
Did your
They're
parents?
old references, comedians and stuff with those VHS things, I think.
Exactly. I have all those movies
They
on
reference
VHS.
those.
All right, so
Breakfast
there was.
Club, I know.
All right,
Breakfast
so
Club,
there
I
was
know.
like 10 to 12 actors that kind of just all did those movies, and I guess one of the most eclectic is the Breakfast Club, great soundtrack, 16 Candles.
I think
They're
that's
all
the best.
classics, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's the best.
Okay, and there's a documentary out now on all of those actors, and at the time they were called the Brat Pack.
Well,
Obviously a takeoff of the Rat Pack with Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, but this was the Brat Pack, right?
so yeah, and the documentary. Have you heard of this, Howie? He's like, no, silence. Hear a pin drop.
It makes sense to me. It's a good gig if you can get it.
Well,
I know
the documentary is fascinating because they don't think that it was cool that they got called. A journalist dubbed them the Brat Pack, and they, specifically the guy who did the documentary, Andrew McCarthy, who was the lead in Pretty in Pink, and a couple other movies.
Oh,
he
such
didn't
a
like
mush
it because
mouth.
it pigeonholed them, and they didn't like to be called brats. So it's a because to me, growing up then,
Right.
it's warm and fuzzy feeling thinking about all those movies, and it kind of ruined some of their careers because they got too heady about it. I don't know. It's a fascinating documentary that I think your generation should watch because it's really good, taking it back to the old days. You guys remember these or no?
Oh, of course.
I know you guys-
I'll put it on my watch later, for sure.
Well,
Put it on your list.
therein lies the difference between our generation and Mr. Font's generation, where we were huge moviegoers to start with, and then we were VHS, Blockbuster Video, got my membership card, rented my 100th video, got my free tub of popcorn,
Oh,
Yep.
that was the best.
big time.
Yep.
Where, Howie, when's the last time you were in a movie theater?
Oh, I love the movies.
Okay, so
I don't think that's typical. I think people do watch brand new releases on phone screens.
Totally.
Which is heresy to me, but no, the movie theater experience is still pretty valuable, I think.
And I still love going to the
We
movies.
need better movies, that's all.
Well, that's it. When it's not a remake of something for the 9th time, where my thought is it's basically right now Hollywood has run out of ideas. I'm waiting for the Harry Potter reboot to the point
Like,
where
are you saying you don't like the 9th Fast and Furious?
I was just going to reference Fast and Furious. I feel like
Star
you're up to
Wars:
24.
The Apology. I swear to God, that's where we are with movie reboots.
Yeah.
So yeah, Howie's like, give me a new idea, give me something fresh. I'm going to go to the theater. But back then we were religious.
And we had to get there 2
about
hours
this.
early
Yeah.
to get in line, to make sure you got a seat, to get your popcorn, to get all the things, or it would sell out and you didn't even have a ticket.
Yeah.
Remember those days, Greg?
Yeah, but do you think the movies are being created now that we've kind of aged out? We're no longer the target, right? Because they make movies based on
Hush your
a
mouth.
certain demographic.
Hush.
Because,
100%.
Because that's the demographic that the advertisers want to
Yeah.
attract.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, at this point,
We're out.
we're kind of sort of on the high end of that demographic, and we're no longer desirable. Isn't
Except
it
for
sad?
Inside Out 2 just came out, and then that's adults and kids, parents and kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it like the girl going through puberty or something?
Yeah.
That's what
My
they're
kids
doing?
went to it, and they loved it.
Okay. I'll
They
make
didn't
sure.
take me.
I'll be sure to run out and not watch that movie.
I think you guys are supposed to be watching all of the Academy Award nominated movies now. That's your demographic.
Is that
I
could
watch
be.
Avengers movies. You watch, sophisticated.
I
culture.
watched all 10 this last year. I watched all 10 movies that were up for Academy Award.
Is that right?
Oppenheimer was my least favorite of all.
Oppenheimer was
So
But
the
I
one
wasn't
that
a Cillian
won.
Murphy
Yeah.
fan
Come
then.
on, that was the best.
Yeah. The one that
You just
Greg
get your
said,
big explosions. And,
the one that took everything
away.
home.
Yeah, it won everything, and I was disappointed by that.
Howie, as far as people, we'll bring this around to some sort of financial talk. People in your age gap versus people in ours and stuff. Are you guys a more fiscally responsible group? Are you worried as much as we were growing up, or maybe we were making that first purchase or trying to get the money together for that first house or first piece of property that we bought?
So there's a lot of literature on this that's really interesting. It's a great question, and I don't think there's a definitive answer. I think every generation has their more responsible component and their more irresponsible component. But what's important is it was in just absolute dollar terms easier to buy a home. The down payments were smaller. Interest rates were a lot different in the 80s, but you could get the home and get the mortgage. So that's one thing. But pretty much, no, people aren't really good savers. Usually the top 50% of jobs let you save some sort of emergency fund, and that's pretty consistent across since the 50s when we have good research.
Are people, younger than you? Let's say I'll use 30 as the Mendoza line because you told us you were 30 years old. Are they just of the mindset that, you know what, screw it. I'm never going to be able to accumulate the wealth that's going to enable me to buy that house, buy that townhouse, whatever. So you know what? I'm just going to spend it as fast as I can get it.
I do know people like that. I have friends I've counseled, and they've said, I've got a life to live. This is not going in the market. I'm not doing long-term investment. I said, well, you had $100 a week when you were 20. That's a lot. You're not gonna. That's one night a week that you're not going to be able to go out and have dinner and all that. But for that, you're going to get compound interest going, the most powerful force in math. And they took a buy and waited until they're 30, and now, they have to play catch up. It's unfortunate.
Howie, I want to go back to what you said about the being better at renting now potentially than buying. And I remember back in my 20s when it was like you got to buy a house, and it was just buy, do not rent. You're wasting money. But was that the best advice then? And now it has shifted for the reasons that you were kind of just alluding to. My kids are not quite there yet, but they're going to be 22 in a couple years and wanting to potentially buy or rent, and they're living in California. They're not really going to be able to afford it. But where do you see that trend?
Well, let me be clear. Salaries are higher as well, but housing has just taken off in such a big way that first down payment is further and further away. And the concept of starter homes, developers don't like that. So they're kind of out of the market. I mean, McMansion is kind of more standard than maybe the homes that of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So that's part of the problem. And as far as renting versus buying, I just think you're going to put money into a house if you are buying. If you're going to rent, you're going to pay less than if you own. That's something people don't really understand. And you should be taking that excess cash, putting it in the market, putting it in your savings to be financially responsible. That's how you would still do it. But it was a wealth building tool that was kind of paint by numbers, and now people don't have that. So it's gotten a little harder, I would say, Mary. Yeah.
You mean it's not good to go paint by numbers to build up your own personal savings or your wealth?
No, it worked for a long time. It just that's gone now. Sorry,
I love
Mike.
the way you put it, man.
Yeah.
All right, Howie, appreciate the time, brother. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us as usual.
Of course. Thanks.
You know, I sold my son's go-kart yesterday.
Oh, was that a sad day? On Father's Day?
On Father's Day, yeah. But I got it for early and did it.
That's an
and
interesting
took care of it.
celebration.
But I sold it for $425.
Nice.
I was asking $500.
Yeah.
I settled for $425. I took the cash into the house with my wife and I said, "Sweet, look at that," you know. And I went right back to what Howie was talking about. Oh, I got the money; it's burning a hole in my pocket. Look what you got, honey.
Right.
And she's all,
Uh-huh.
and put it, you know.
That's right.
The
Under
boss
the
took it
mattress.
from me.
Let's put that to good use.
Pretty
like
much.
she's saying.
Yeah. So I can see it's hard where you try to balance the mature adult stuff and the let's go
It's hard.
burn it right now. It is.
I didn't
hard.
get coffee over the weekend at Starbucks because of our conversation with Howie last week, so I'm learning.
That is the way you do it. All right, more Big
Fiscally
Biz.
responsible.
In over 175 countries and all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. Big Biz rolls on. Costa, Marybird Godwin, our executive producer, Greg Todoroff. We're carrying on without Sully today. He will be back here shortly, just feeling a little under the weather. Joining us now is somebody who will, I think, in the not-too-distant future, become a hero to me because of the technology he is part of and the way he is changing people's lives. Paul Hickey is the president and CEO of ReShape Lifesciences, stock symbol RSLS. All their information is right there at reshapelifesciences.com. And Paul joins us once again here on the Big Biz Show. Paul, how you doing? Are you a father? If you are, a belated Happy Father's Day.
I am. I got 4 children, so thank you much for that. Again, a great day yesterday, hopefully for a lot of fathers across the country.
4 children, that explains the fact that there's not a lot of hair on top of your head.
That's where it went.
We absolutely understand. Paul, for those who are joining us for the first time, and I think we've said it before, we say it a lot, you know, the audience is always changing, always growing. And I'm sure that there's more than one person out there who is going to hear what you're going to talk about here on the Big Biz Show and say, well, hey, wait a second, that's something that I think I could use in my life. Talk about the lap band system.
Yeah, I think to take a half step back, you know, obesity is this chronic disease that's, you know, millions across the U.S. and globally are afflicted with. And it's coming of age in terms of awareness because of all of the impact of the big pharma marketing GLP-1, the Wegovy, Ozempic, and Zepbound. So the upside for that in ReShape's case is we're a medical device that's primarily our flagship product is the lap band, which is essentially a less invasive technology to go around the stomach and sort of like a zip tie, I think as Sully used in the last episode and show that I spoke at. And this restraint on the top of the stomach allows for food to be passed, but at a much more restrained rate. So the analogy I use is taking a 5-6 lane highway, which is your esophagus, and tightening that highway down to 1 or 2 lanes to restrict food, restrict calorie intake, and ultimately, for the life of the patients, achieve weight loss.
Paul, and I'm not sure if you know I don't know if you have the answer, you have the crystal ball, but the obesity epidemic that is worldwide, and especially here in the United States, is it because we are able to get things instantly and at our fingertips, and conversely, there's moms and dads, there's guardians and stuff who are so busy now trying to make ends meet, trying to make life better for families that it's, hey, I've got to go through the drive-through tonight for dinner because I didn't have a chance to get home and cook a healthy meal. Is that the paradigm we're kind of dealing with?
Sure, I think it's multifactorial, and you know I think the reason the CDC classified obesity as a disease over 10 years ago is because of the complexity of the disease. Certainly, there's no doubt in my mind it's driven by the food industry. Everyone's searching for that last French fry at the bottom of the bag from a drive-through. There's certainly tailwind from mental health issues, which we know are prevalent for both adolescents and adults alike. But it goes, I think, a little deeper than that as well. Once the body changes its hormone imbalance and you start to become obese and disease takes hold, it is something that's extremely difficult to get rid of. The analogy is kind of an oncologist would treat a cancer patient, not as a one and done, but sort of as a lifelong cancer patient, similar to someone who's obese, and certainly the morbidly obese. When they go get treatment, they're going to need an armamentarium to go after this disease, and that's where Lap-Band comes in as one of the options.
Paul, before meeting you a few weeks or months ago, I heard you just we all kind of knew the term tummy tuck from, I don't know, the 80s. I don't know when that became a thing, but this is different. And I'm fascinated by this because I was reading, the term non-anatomy altering. So you're not changing that. So can you talk, you alluded to it earlier when you were describing how it works, but can you talk about that? Because I think that is a really good point.
Yeah, and you touched on, the most popular procedures actually are more aggressive in terms of they change your anatomy. The gastric sleeve, or the stapling, as it was called, is essentially taking out 80% of your stomach and leaving just a little bit of a pouch. The gastric bypass, the most aggressive procedure in terms of anatomy altering, does essentially reroutes the plumbing. The Lap-Band doesn't change the anatomy in terms of cutting it or redefining it. All we do is constrict the top of the stomach just south of the esophageal stomach junction. So in that way, it's reversible. The other thing, which I didn't mention in my last description, it's actually adjustable. So if you're a patient that just received a Lap-Band and you're 1 or 2 years out and you decide, I'm not losing enough weight, the physician can actually inject fluid into the system and actually squeeze down on the top of the stomach even more to restrict your food intake. And vice versa, if you're heading off to a wedding or a woman in childbearing years and you don't want to restrict nutrition, you can actually extract the fluid and loosen up the band around the stomach.
Paul Hickey, the president CEO, ReShape Lifesciences. NASDAQ symbol is RSLS, the website to check it out, reshapelifesciences.com.
So, Paul, I'm going to keep diving questions. I'm very fascinated by this. So how long does it take to see a desired effect?
Great question.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's just like I mentioned, it's entirely dependent on the individual. I think the medical society is getting more sophisticated in terms of trying to define what types of obesity based on your phenotyping. But you can have, 2 different people who are both obese at the same level in terms of the same BMI and go about treating them in the same fashion and have different outcomes. So it's not just the surgery that you need to have. It's also obviously you're sort of changing your diet, changing your lifestyle, and other help potentially that people may need. So in terms of desired effect, the hope is that within the first several months to a year, you're seeing a pretty large impact on your weight, and that continues throughout your lifetime. And probably the most important thing is once you reach your weight loss goal, is sustaining that goal over time and not letting the disease sort of bounce back and ultimately have additional weight loss that you have to take on with the second wave of obesity.
And Paul, what is the addressable market?
Oh, it's I would say ginormous, but it's absolutely.
I'm sure it's going to blow our mind, but statistically speaking,
that kind of hurts, Paul. Yeah. That hurts. I'm standing right here.
Well, I think you can look at percentages and know that, and I don't want to say look to your left, look to your right, but ultimately it's in the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be 1 in 3 to 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. will be obese, and globally that figure is roughly the same. And the most concerning part is it's the adolescent and childhood obesity, which you imagine, for Lap-Band, we're approved for 18 and older, but for those kids who are unfortunately getting this disease at an earlier age, it's hard to contemplate surgery. So, but there is a need to jump in and at an early age and get ahead of this thing.
Wow. Paul Hickey, the president and CEO, ReShape Lifesciences, RSLS, NASDAQ symbol. check it all out. Check all the great things they are doing at ReShapeLifesciences.com. Paul, really appreciate it. Can't wait to get you. Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at Salientgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Big Biz Show live from the Loft 100 Studios. Wherever you are, wherever you're watching or listening, we always say thank you for being along for the ride, especially you brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what you do, what you have done for us. Costa standing in for Sully, not feeling too good. He'll be back in his normal position very, very soon. Marybert Godwin, she is here. Our executive producer, Greg Todoroff, is here as well. We're going to talk a little real estate with Andrew Warburton coming up here in 1 second. Did you, belated Happy Father's Day, did you have a good one?
You too. I had a great one. Going out to dinner, it's so nice.
Oh, the best.
Where'd you go?
Went to a little steakhouse down in Del Mar.
Okay.
I had steak too. I had more of a Father's Day luncheon with another family.
Nice.
So we had, we also partook in tearing red meat off of a bone.
Right.
But as far as gifts and stuff, and I told the people in my house, I don't want anything.
The people, is that how you refer to them?
The people. That's right.
In your house. Some people call those people family.
Family?
But, yeah, no. You go with the people.
Yeah. I told them I don't want anything. I am not in need of anything.
Yep.
There's certain things that I want, and if there's certain things that I want, I will go out and get myself.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
Yep.
So to all the fathers.
Did your young kids make?
Oh yeah,
any
I got some cool little
macaronis.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
I still have a macaroni necklace hanging in my closet on a hook.
Nice.
So anytime I open it up, reminded of.
One of these days you're going to eat that thing.
Times get tough,
I always forget the bowl of marinara as I'm walking in to get dressed.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Andrew Warburton, he is the founder president of Kind One Technology, Inc., iConnect, iConnct, and the Warburton team, the website to go to iConnect.com, iConnct.com. Andrew Warburton with us here on the Big Biz Show. Andrew, how are you doing, my friend?
Good morning, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I always wonder how you guys come up with those humorous conversations at the beginning. It's just, look, it's an art, it's a skill.
Yeah.
I'm from London, we're kind of serious.
Sure.
And you just pull that off. How do you guys pull that off?
You know, when
we're in a bar, Andrew. I don't know if you noticed or not. But.
Yeah.
What's in your sippy cup there, Greg?
We managed to put all the bottles back in position right before we come back, so it makes it look like
I did see the bottles.
There you go.
Admit, so,
Andrew, are you a father?
I am a father. Yes, several times over.
Congratulations, belated Happy Father's Day. Andrew, you're dealing with real estate here in this crazy state we call California. I mean, do you look at some of the prices that cracker boxes are going for and just kind of say, when's it going to explode? When's it going to end? Or is it?
Look, we literally speak to 11,000 direct connect buyers a year where they just call us.
Okay.
Right? So we hear everything that you can imagine, from roughly Calabasas to Chula Vista, right? So very diverse markets. And yeah, entry-level home, really, Whittier, 700,000, you're going to get 15 offers in a weekend still. And it's built in 1957, 880 square feet. You know, you go to Belmont Shore and it's going to be a mill 2, a mill 3 for 750 square feet. So we all know that. Is it going to last forever? Well, nothing lasts forever. We all know that, right? And definitely old enough, that's the case. But, you know, you got to look at macroeconomics. What are the macroeconomics? Why would prices implode? You know, 2007 was such a unique time. My 40-year career was just extremely unique. Will it go up forever? No. Are we on the edge of a precipice? I don't think so. I don't see why, unless some major macroeconomic factor happens, some sort of security disaster. I just don't see it happening. There are not enough homes, too many consumers. You know, let's just help them out as best we possibly can.
Sure.
So I think there's going to be restructuring. I know this is not what you wanted me to talk about, but you asked the question, right?
No. It's interesting. I love the fact you're talking about it.
Yeah, you know, like the mortgage market. You know, what's going to happen with 40-year mortgages, 60-year mortgages, 100-year mortgages? It's going to happen. The ADU piece, I think, is brilliant, and civic authorities adapting to that. You know, all of these are elements, aren't they? We're definitely reaching the stage where we're going to have very creative mortgages, maybe even portable mortgages.
Wow.
Portable mortgages will free up inventory. We're not there yet. And of course, most of the mortgages are out there now wrapped up in securities that you can't change the conditions of the mortgage. But if we go to portable mortgages, that will definitely help the whole logjam with sellers not wanting to sell because they got a 3% loan.
And Andrew, can you explain to our viewers and listeners who don't know what a portable mortgage is?
And me at the bar.
Exactly what that means.
Sure. Yeah, you hear about it more, you know, of course, in London, in Europe, Australia, and so on. Canada also, where it's the idea that you have, obviously, a loan is secured by the property and by the borrower. So what if you lend that money to the borrower and the borrower wants to move and you allow the borrower to move the mortgage with them as long as they sustain the same equity position? And then a new borrower comes into the home that's being sold, and they originate a new mortgage. So that's now a portable mortgage. But because these loans haven't been sold as portable mortgages and now they're securitized, how do you change that? That's an extremely complex legal question. But that's what a portable mortgage is.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
Andrew Warburton.
Right, of course.
Yes, I mean, for especially for all the people who obviously were able to lock in at a very low rate when rates were so desirable several years ago. And because that, a lot of people were saying that's what's leading to the shortages because, you know, like we talked to our analyst Howie earlier, that we have such a shortage. Freddie Mac came out and said, I think it was 1.5 million new homes are needed to relieve the current national housing shortage. But I think you have so many people that don't want to give up that 3.5 or even lower in some cases mortgages and move on to the next house because right now you're not looking at a 3.5% mortgage.
Andrew Warburton, the founder and president of Kind One Technology Incorporated, iConnect, and the Warburton team with us here on the Big Biz Show. Andrew, if you can, we've got about 90 seconds left. Kind of give us the bottom view, the watered down version of what exactly you're doing with the iConnect team and the Warburton team.
So iConnect, we just launched on App Store. There's a customer app and agent app, and we connect consumers direct with agents. We believe it's the time with the changes in Sitzer Burnett. There's going to be a massive mood shift in August, September, October, November as consumers try and reach out to the real estate industry. And my conviction, my whole career is connect people directly. You know, why do you have to have a record company? Why don't you just connect singers to the public? Why not just connect homeowners, home buyers, connect them direct with the agent? So we've created an AI-assisted scoring system of agents. We present agents through geotagging on a map. We present their availability in real time, and a consumer is able to jump on iConnect and sort through the agents, understand exactly who they are with AI assistance, and then connect with them in real person. No intermediary, no call center, no email, no text. They don't even have to surrender their information. And so we're literally first in class.
And are you finding out that the people who are talking are being connected directly through iConnect with that real estate agent it's, you know, the person picks up on the other and says, I'm the guy, I'm the girl, I'm the one who's going to help you sell your house.
They're shocked.
It's just you and I. Yeah, I'm sure they're shocked.
Look, you and I bought real estate for years, right? Years and years and years. And you go through so many loopholes. Even referral organizations, they're not knocking them, but you know, you fill out something on a website and it goes to an exchange and they refer you to a broker and the broker calls you, and it can be 2, 3, 4 days, or you get 5 calls in 15 minutes. What if I could just select you?
Yes.
I look at what you've done. I look at how you convert, how many of your offers get accepted. I look at a real-time gauge on you. Then I can actually chat with you by video conference in a secure environment through iConnect. And then I go, wow, I really like you. You can do a great job for me and I feel safe. You release your information, you book an appointment, and you can see the agent driving towards you.
Love it.
So just like Uber.
Wow.
We're basically DoorDash had a baby with Zillow. That's who we are.
iConnect and the Warburton team. Go to iConnect, iConnct.com. Andrew, we got to have you back on. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time. Big Biz Show for the Loft 100 Studios in sunny Southern California. Thanks for being here. Costa, Marybird Godwin, Greg Todorov, our executive producer. It is our post-Father's Day show. Of course, Father's Day also known as Honey, Take the Kids and Get the Hell Out of Here for a couple hours. Hope you guys all hope you had a great one. And, you know, we always hear motherhood, whatever, is the hardest job on earth. No, it's being a father. And,
oh, cry me a river.
You did your job. Now get out of here. I'll see you in 9 months. That's, you know, I think that's how all women feel about us fathers. But seriously, a belated Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. We love when this next guest joins us. He's Joe LaRosa. He's the founder CEO of LaRosa Holdings Corporation, ticker symbol LRHC. Back with us once again to talk about upsetting that apple cart that is the real estate industry. Joe, welcome back to the Big Biz Show. How you been?
Been real well. How about you guys?
We're doing great, and a belated Happy Father's Day to you, Joe. For people that may not know, can you kind of take us back to the inception of LaRosa Holdings Corporation and talk about the genesis of the company, but I think more importantly, the fact that you made a lot of people in the real estate business say, uh-oh, you know, what are these new kids over here doing?
Yeah, definitely, especially this past week, and I'll get into that in a moment as well. But yeah, we came into the market back in 2011 with a very disruptive commission model. You know, we were offering agents 100% commission. They would just pay a monthly subscription, pay an annual fee and a flat fee per transaction. And we gave them value. We gave them systems. We gave them technology, education, support. We really helped them be able to kind of grow their business, which was kind of unheard of with a company offering 100% commission. And now we've come up with a very new revenue share model that just within the last week, we've been able to actually sign on 92 agents just in the last week. So it's actually a new record for us as we've now kind of gone into the market with a plan that we think is really going to disrupt the revenue share model.
Now, when you talk about disruption, and you mentioned 92 agents in just 1 week's time, initially back in 2011, where you were you thinking, okay, this is what we are going to get to?
You know, I've always lived my life as one day at a time. And,
sure.
You know, we always wanted to definitely capture significant market share. I never imagined that we would expand throughout the state of Florida, across state lines, and now become a publicly traded company. So the initial goal was really always just to be able to add value to agents and be able to offer them something that they can't get anywhere else. And everything will just kind of fall into place. And we've been able to build our business, you know, with that mindset.
Joe, it also seems like you're adding value to the sellers and to people that are looking to buy, to the buyers, the people that are trying to buy homes. Can you talk through the user experience for someone that is wanting to go buy a home and how they can find the right agent?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only are we focusing on being agent-centric, we want to be consumer-centric, and especially in today's day and age. And so we want to add as much value as possible. So we've even partnered with a technology platform called Final Offer that is allowing us to really change the transaction process that really hasn't evolved in the last 30, 40 plus years. So now, in a scenario where, believe it or not, like in Florida, we see multiple offers still occur on a regular basis, and a lot of buyers would just get absolutely frustrated because they don't understand why wasn't their offer accepted. I don't understand. What would it have taken for us to get this deal done? So through this new platform, Final Offer, we're able to show complete transparency. So every offer being submitted on a property is being fully transparent to every other buyer's agent and every other buyer as well. So they can see exactly what it's going to take in order to get the deal done. So this is just one example of many. We've also incorporated AI as a huge part of our real estate transaction and process. So just being able to really focus on making it easier for agents and for the consumers to kind of go from A to Z in the whole process.
Joe LaRosa, the founder and CEO of LaRosa Holdings Corporation, stock ticker symbol LRHC, the website to check them out, joinlarosa.com. Joe, now that you are a publicly traded company, is the disruption different? Is it bigger because of you guys?
I would definitely tell you now we have the opportunity to be on a much grander stage. So, and now, we love to have the pressure on us now is, we're on this much grander stage to really go out there and deliver on what we promise. And so, our goal is to double our agent count between now and the end of this year. We've already doubled our revenue from last year to today. So we're very excited for, kind of where we are in this, market today. And so we're just excited for what's ahead over the next 6, 12, 18 months.
So, Joe, I know AI is a big part of this. And can you talk about how you integrate it and how it, it can't be instead of that human contact, but it can make it easier, right? When you're first setting something up, or how do you integrate AI and how does it make it easier, have the process easier?
Well, I mean, look, we'll look at it from two different ways. So with the agent and then with the consumer. So from the agent side, for example, you and I could be having a conversation right now and all of a sudden my phone rings and I have a client of mine that wants me to go by and see them tonight around 6, 7 o'clock tonight and talk to them about listing their house. Well, I'm not prepared. I'm, in this interview right now with you. So I can literally go on to my agent account app, talk to my system that's called Jamie, and Jamie will actually prepare a listing presentation and market analysis for me. So it allows the agent to be able to work smarter, not harder. And then for the consumer side, going on to any one of our websites, our system is going to be able to understand the client's behavior and see exactly what kind of properties they're looking at. And we'll even compile a list of properties that are very similar to what they were looking at, but yet did not see. So it's going to allow the consumer to really have the opportunity to really see everything that's out there in the market. So it's not the agent doing this work. It's actually the AI that we have built into the technology. So it's a great system that we have. And it's going to, obviously be able to help out both agents and consumers.
Wow.
Joe, we got about 45 seconds left. What's the rest of 2024 looking like for you and the team there at LaRosa Holdings?
Well, listen, I'm really excited about, we've always been known for offering 100% commission, but now we're offering a revenue share model that we think is going to disrupt the revenue share model industry in real estate. So just in the last week, 92 agents within 1 week. We expect to double our agent count now from here at the end of this year and to be able to 3x and 5x our agent count now moving forward.
So your day gets busier, your weeks get busier, but to me it's that good busy, that crazy busy that I'm sure that you've been shooting for since day one, right?
Absolutely.
Joe, always appreciate the time, man. Continued success. Joe LaRosa, the founder and CEO of LaRosa Holdings Corporation, ticker symbol LRHC. Check out the website, joinlarosa.com. Joe, as always, we appreciate the time. Revenue share and a different commission scale. And no wonder they're disruptors. 92 in a week?
92 in a week, that's pretty crazy.
That's nuts.
I think they're doing something right.
And expanding your footprint the smart way. All right, that's going to do it for the Big Biz Show. I'm telling you, the greatest staff and behind the scenes anywhere for the day trader trio, even Trace in his new hat. Nucci, thanks for sitting in.
Thank you.
For our executive producer, Greg Todorov and Mary Godwin, I'm Costa. We will see you very soon. We are the Big Biz Show from the Loft 100 Studios. Thanks for stopping by.